Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Healing Journal, coming to you today from Thailand. So it's beautiful out here. It's morning, and if you take a look behind me, put it into focus for you. How beautiful is that? So today we're going to talk about taking selfish time for yourself so that you can allow the miracles to happen. Okay, I never in a million years would have believed that I'd be sitting in Thailand doing a video or anything for that matter, right? So, for those of you that don't know, I went through some very hard things and this happened. It was happening for years, but really, I call it the volcano erupted basically in December of 2024. And now here we are. It's almost April of 2025, and I have been on a healing journey ever since. These things are so important. And if you're not sure what to do, you can go through my channel and you can scroll all the videos because a lot of what I talk about has to do with emotional abuse and not being kind to ourselves. And the thing is, these things can happen over time and then we lose ourselves. And the life that I was signing up for and living had me very stagnant and I couldn't figure out why. And I don't believe in blaming others. So a lot of times this can be confusing, especially when you have started to build a life, you think you're doing the right thing, and it doesn't even have to be an abusive relationship, and you can end up really putting yourself in a strange situation where suddenly you're either living someone else's life or you're living a life that doesn't make any sense anymore. And again, this doesn't have to be anything bad that's going on in your life, but it's something that we all should be more aware of, because if we're more aware of this, we're going to be happier people, and the happier we are, the better the world is, right? So, yesterday, for example, I got into Bangkok, and just a few hours after, there was a huge earthquake, and I had no idea. We didn't feel it here in Pattaya. So I had made a post, okay, and I was sort of joking around like that there was an earthquake because I packed so much in my suitcase. I had no idea that there was as much devastation as there really was. And so there were some people making comments like, how could you be that insensitive? You're so self absorbed. These are people assuming that I knew, which I didn't. I had no idea. And then I got to see some videos later on that showed me. So I re edited my post because it did come across insensitive. Okay. Now I'm using this as an example because some of the people that were making comments, most everybody was really kind and just happy I was safe, right? Again, people that make assumptions. Think about this: assume, make an ass out of you and me, the way that it's spelled. So, you know, I think a lot of us do this. A lot of us are guilty of this. Even I've been guilty of this, assuming something. And you can assume something to be good or you can assume something to be bad. And over time, when we do this and we take offense to other people's remarks, there's a very fine line between correcting your behavior and taking accountability for it and truly being innocent. Okay. And a lot of times when we get ourselves wrapped into lives that no longer make sense to us, we start making excuses. We stop correcting our own behavior because everything just gets so confusing. And I don't know if this makes sense to you. And if it doesn't, that's okay. But for those of you that are following my journey, and for those of you who are on your own journey, this is a reminder that you have to stop the noise around you. And just because there is devastation does not mean that you need to fall down and be sad. You can still have feelings and be empathetic for people going through things. That doesn't mean that you have to stop your happiness. And this is something that I have suffered through because I felt guilty if I was still living a happy life if the people I was around weren't as happy. And a lot of times, especially in like natural disasters, these things are really terrible. And most people have empathy, right? But it's important to remember that you can't help these people unless you stay uplifted. You don't have to come down. And it can be something that is confusing for those of us who are empaths and those of us who really give a lot of care to caring about others. And when somebody pegs you as someone who doesn't care because you come across happy, your light is going to slowly dim. I started to slowly dim myself and lower myself for other people around me because I thought that that was being respectful. I thought that was doing the right thing. Well, you have to remember it's okay to be empathetic, whether it is a disaster, whether it's a friend who's depressed, whether it's a loved one that has problems at home. Oh my gosh, there's a ton of little dogs running on the beach. Oh, oh, you guys have to see this. How do I show this to you? Hold on. Look at all the little dogs. They're everywhere. They're just playing on the beach, having fun. Oh, that's so funny. How cute. So, anyway, I just want to remind you that it's okay to find the balance between not losing your happiness and your light, because the people who truly need you and the people who truly need your help are going to benefit if you're not sitting there depressed with them. And people who want you to be depressed with them have a problem. And a lot of times this can be confusing because we think we're supposed to go, oh gosh, I have to be sad now because everybody else around me is sad. Don't adjust your light like that. It doesn't mean that you don't care. And if it does mean that you don't care, then that's your own issue. But what I'm talking about today is staying on track with what is healthy for you. Don't stop doing healthy things for yourself just because, you're having fights with people or you don't agree with something political or there's a devastation in the world. There's going to constantly be things like this that you have to try to avoid getting in the trap of falling into. And there will be times where you have low moments of devastation yourself. And what I've had to learn is I can't rely on anybody else to bring me up. I have to bring myself up. And this is something that I used to be a lot better at. And then when I was in an abusive relationship, and then I also, not just one, but there have been many, and there are certain people in my life that had this picture painted of me, and I was actually lowering myself and who I am to fit that narrative because it was easier for me to get along with these people if I did that. Being in the spotlight is a great example. A lot of people were like, oh, you're selfish and narcissistic because you're in the spotlight. And then I was hyper aware of this because I definitely am not. But I found myself going, oh gosh, really? Am I? Is there something wrong with me? Am I being insensitive? Am I being selfish and self-absorbed? And I know that a lot of times it can come across that way when, whether we're posting pictures of things that we love or we're being happy when everybody else is sad. Okay, but these are your superpowers. Don't lower your energy. You don't have to do that. And I wish that I had remembered this. And if I had remembered this, I would have been in places like Thailand before now. And now that I've worked on myself, and it doesn't mean that I'm perfect, it doesn't mean that I have this mastered, but the reminder that it's okay to be selfish. If you're not selfish first, how are you going to help people? A lot of these videos are not necessarily videos that I saw myself making, but a lot of people have been coming to me and saying, thank you so much. It has helped me in my situation. And that means so much to me because I always felt like there was something missing. There was something missing in my personal life where just singing and making art wasn't doing it for me. I wanted to give something more, but I didn't know how. I didn't know what to do. And so these videos are bringing me to a whole different level of being able to gift things to you guys that are also going through your own challenges. And even if you're not going through challenges, it's always healthy to continue to grow. So even if you feel stagnant, whatever that life is that you're living because you've sort of altered what is probably natural to you, take a check in with yourself and go, why am I doing this? How does it make me feel? Does it align with my core value system? And is it in the direction of where I want to head? And for so long, I thought I was doing the right thing. Okay. And for you, this might be like, oh, well, I'm going to try to buy a house and then have this for my retirement and then this and then that. And for me, I was getting wrapped up in a system and in relationships that were not in alignment with who I'm supposed to be and the life I'm supposed to live on this planet. Don't let the news, don't let any politician, don't let any person, don't let anybody or anything push you down. Keep rising up. Keep rising up through the ashes. And if you're looking to reinvent yourself, start simple. Don't overwhelm yourself unless you really feel like doing that. You know, a lot of people like to make drastic changes. If that's something that aligns with you, then do that. I'm sure a lot of people think that I'm crazy for just on a whim going to Thailand. Well, it is a little bit crazy, but it's the good kind of crazy. And it was done safely and has been something that has completely shocked me in a good way. And everybody's so kind. You know, there's people walking by waving, like, hi, you know, that's how it should be. And when I stopped in Qatar, I was just amazed at how respectful and kind everybody was. Nobody was pushy or rude or in a rush. It was really refreshing. And I don't think right now that a lot of people are leaning into the positives. And I want you to remember that it's okay to acknowledge reality because that helps you figure out where you should go and what you belong doing. But don't stay in the lane that doesn't work with you. Okay, no matter what anybody says, no matter the criticism. And I remember even on the TV shows I've been on, when I would get criticism, I would be advised to take the criticism and then alter who I am and what I'm doing because of it. And I never could wrap my head around how that makes any sense if I'm truly being authentic to myself. But I didn't want to lose an opportunity. So I would reevaluate myself and what I was doing, what I was singing, what I was wearing, what I was saying based on somebody else's opinion. This is a ridiculous way to be. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Don't do that, okay? Not unless you're truly hurting yourself or someone else. And you really have to think about that because if people are criticizing you, I've been criticized my whole life. I've been criticized in front of hundreds of millions of people. And it scarred me and it hurt me. And then I started to repeat these patterns in my personal life. And it's crazy. Don't make these mistakes. And if you find yourself making these mistakes, it's okay. But don't keep making the same mistakes over and over, or you're just going to keep beating the same lesson into your mind. And for me, I thought that I was doing the right thing. And it just, my life slowly felt weird. And that's not what is in alignment with me. And everybody always thought I was crazy to move to Key West. Guess what? Maybe I am, but it was the greatest decision of my life. It's the most beautiful community. I have so many friends there. My island family is there. And these are all the people that have hugged me back in the hardest time of my life. Meanwhile, everyone else, just about, not all, but just about everyone else that I thought that I trusted the most have completely fallen out of my life by choice. Not my choice, their choice. And I really sat there for a long time and even through therapy thought, what have I done? I thought, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? How is it that now I'm losing the people I love the most? Because I'm realigning with my value system, which in my opinion is good. But if other people don't see that and don't respect that, let them, right? And if these people are using the let them theory against you for doing what's healthy for you, let them do that. It's sad because I think a lot of people have misinterpreted the let them theory and they're using it to avoid their bad behavior. So look out for these things because a lot of times these people will just use a little pinch of this and that and they won't correct their own behavior. And I am not a perfect person. I have definitely had to correct my own behavior, but if the people around you are not supporting you while you're improving yourself, it's not time for them to be in your life. And this is one of the hardest lessons I've had to learn because I always valued so many opinions of the people that I love the most. And when they're pushing you away and out of your life, it's one of those things that you just really, really have to take serious and understand that maybe they're not for you right now. I never imagined that this would be something that I would say ever. I gave all my free time to all these people. I spent my savings on going to hang out and be with these people. Why? Because I wanted to. I wanted to. But the want on their end was not the same. And that was proven when some of these people decided to side with and speak with an abuser that was in my life that I actually covered up for quite a bit. Okay? And that's my fault. But don't get wrapped up in what other people think you should be doing. Only you know that, okay? So I hope that helps you. The dogs on the beach are cracking me up. And I just want you guys to remember that no matter how crazy it seems to other people, no matter how strange or weird or outside the box it seems to everybody else, if it makes sense and feels right for you, do that. Looks like we have a special guest in the background. Paid actor. I think these are wild dogs. So, anyway, and if you don't know where to start, okay, and maybe you're having a bad day or something is not working out for you, what I want you to remember is just smile at people. Try that. If you don't know what to do, just smile and wave. It works wonders. Okay? Really does. Hi. See? So, when you smile at people, they're going to probably smile back. And I know that this can be hard if you're starting to work at it. But again, hang in there, do something selfish for yourself that feels right, no matter how crazy it seems, even if it means flying across the world, on the other side of the world. I hope that helps you today, and I will see you soon.